れ、どこですか？ここだ。Hello. Um, it's me. Ooh. Very, very cool. So, what now, right? It's it's gonna be a little bit messy, I think, going on from here. That's gonna be. I'm trying to do some restructuring. So clearly, whatever that I was doing, it kind of works, kind of doesn't work. But I think it's not tackling the root cause of a lot of the problems. And it's taken sort of getting stuck and failing, and talking to various people to kind of have to figure this out, to sort of get me on the path of figuring this out. I think it's things are not always that clear, of course. But so I mean, I don't know what I'm trying to say here. I guess what I'm trying to say is that like I'm trying to do stuff differently from how I usually do things, which is kind of hard because this is not just like doing like a different piece or doing something different color wise or whatnot. It is more something more fundamental needs to change, and yeah, I'm a little bit confused right now because I was watching a video about imposter syndrome, about certain things, and then now I'm coming on stream and I'm talking. Like you're switching between consuming and producing. All of a sudden, like your brain kind of stops a little bit. But yeah. Anyways, I'm gonna. I kind of wanted to do this a little bit, but then now that I'm here, I feel like this is not really that well done. Anyways, on stream. So, um, okay, let's forget about what we're gonna do as a whole for the stream real quick, just for a quick second. I do kind of want to push for the video making to be done. I kind of want to get the videos done for the Piotegru one-on-one session. Primarily because of how great the experience was. And secondarily, it's also because I kind of also said that I wanted to make the video to you guys and also to her. Whether if I actually finally do make it or not, I think that still really depends on how the time plans out and how much progress we make on like the actual art front. But at the very least, what I want to do is to come up with the backbone for the video. So I've never done this before on stream as well. I now that I don't know if it's really such a good thing to be doing on stream because it's kind of done because the backbone is just basically what I've presented before. Usually what happens is that I have the point form like this, and then from here I just go into the script writing and I'll just write the script. But the problem with the script writing is that it is a very dynamic and changey kind of thing. Like it doesn't stay constant. It's not like I write one script and then it just carries on, and then I read it out, I record it, and I just start video editing. It doesn't really work like that. I would adjust the script on the fly depending on what kind of materials I have. So I would say one paragraph, I would do some video editing, and in that video editing, I will learn about how clear the idea is when I'm looking at the segment back. And if it's not clear enough, I'll do adjustments. And because if you're adjusting stuff in the beginning of the video, stuff afterwards will also naturally change. So really, like I can't exactly write a script from here. Too much more. Like this is it. Like this is the backbone of the video. Essentially, is what it is. And I think the video, if we do make it, it will be at most 3, most likely 2. The first video will be about the critique itself, right? The second video will be about her process itself. And but the problem with this part is that I think it was okay to use the recording as video content, because if not, there's not much content to show in this segment here. But most importantly, I think the interview portion, like the questions that we kind of ask and stuff, it will be a little. I feel like it's kind of weird that I am presenting both the question and answer. If you know what I mean, like I'm kind of just reading, and you guys are kind of just listening to me talk. Like on stream, it kind of feels okay. It's not really that formal. In a video form, it seems really weird that you're listening to one presenter sort of saying, "Hey, I asked her this question. This is how she replied." And I suppose now that I'm thinking about it, maybe it's not that weird, right? Because I'm just saying like, hey, you know, I had this one-on-one session. I had a couple questions, and for this question, this is what she answered, right? And then my comments on it. I suppose it's not really that weird. But anyways, yeah, and then the video length target, I was thinking of like 10 minutes for the video critique, the critique stuff, and then 10 minutes for the process-based stuff, but then, and then 10 minutes for like, at most 10 minutes more for like this thing, and there'll be separate videos. But then, as I'm coming into this, I realize it's really not much about the process per se. I don't know how much time, ideally I don't want to spend too much time dwelling over the layer structure, which is the only part that is a little bit, that's much more unique rather. Most of the other processes are pretty straightforward, I would say. And of course, whether if I can present those things or not, I would like to double check just in case. But in any case, yeah, I guess like if I were to present the video, make the video, it would be the backbone. This is it. Like this is it. It's already sort of organized. It's already condensed all the information out from the critique. All I have to do is just come in and write the script, and so there's not much for me to do on stream here per se. I would have to sit down and just start writing, which I think I don't want to do on stream. Not today. So we're gonna ignore this video portion here. The other half would be sort of direction from here, right? So I think yesterday I was breaking down exactly what kind of problem, the 4 problems that I'm currently facing. Primarily, it would be the passivity of the process, being too emotional and too emotionally invested rather in any piece that I kind of want to draw. And then there's also skill issue where I'm just getting a little bit too frustrated with not being able to do certain things and losing vision. And then finally just having an issue with patience and just wanting things to move faster. And as a result, feeling like I'm not making enough progress, feeling I have to rush a little bit, and then things don't go well, and then it's a vicious cycle, as you can tell. So on and so forth. So based off of this, I feel like each one can be targeted in its own sort of, maybe it has its own thing that we can target. Like for example, instead of passively waiting, we need to actively look for certain things. But then actually there's like a little bit of a breakthrough off stream. Is that I was talking to my own parents. I don't know why I have to specify my own parents as opposed to just my parents. But I was talking to them, and it was interesting because in this discussion, I was asked exactly what kind of art I want to do, right? So again, right, going back to the whole point is that I want to create art that sort of tells a story, that sets up a world design environment, and tells a story of my own character, and that sort of immortalizes them. And that is essentially the entire goal of just doing art and just staying alive and continuing to be alive, you know, that kind of stuff. So the problem now is, what exactly kind of art is it that I want to do, right? And my first instinct was, you want something that sort of resonates. I want something that sort of resonates with me, not just any old art. But then what does it mean to resonate, right? So in my case, resonate, I guess, would mean that if you look at it, if I look at it at the very least, if I look at it, given the right state of mind, given the right conditions, I can feel myself be dragged into a different time, into a different environment, into a different world. And I can not only just see the environment and see the characters, but I can smell the air. I can feel the temperature of the air, for example, feel the spaciousness of the space, whatever, if it's like on a rooftop, in a huge room, that kind of stuff. And then, but then like the next question is that it, right? Like I don't think that is it, right? If that were it, then like say for example, the example I gave was that what like, you know, if you want to draw something like that, part of it is skill, right? Part of it is that you kind of need to have that personal experience to draw upon from. So let's say I go down to the beach and I smell the ocean for like 2 hours. now when I come back and I draw like an ocean scene, I can realistically still probably smell the ocean every time I look at that piece of art. But that's not it, right? That's not enough. That is just a random, boring old piece of art about the ocean, and maybe someone else will find it beautiful. Maybe I can feel sort of like it's pulling me into a different world, but there's no real meaning to it. So because going back to like sort of the world design and the story creation, it's all about trying to root the world design and the stories based on personal experience, based on experiences that I have gone through. Then what I'm trying to say, I guess, is that it has to all be based on a piece of memory. It has to be based on a piece of personal history. But I don't want to present it just as is, right? Like, because if I just do that, it's just another photograph. I might as well bring up old photographs and call it a day, right? So there is a transformation from this old memory and old experiences into a piece of art, into a new environment with new characters. So there is this bridge between what actually happened and into this imaginary world that we have yet to create, with Ria in there serving whatever role that she served back at that specific point in time in my life, and whatever role that she served back then, right? Kind of is I guess what I need. So if you look at this, all of a sudden, like, before we were very passive about like, hey, what exactly is going on here? Like, what exactly is it that I want? But now it is very clear that there are 4 very specific components that is required in order for a piece of art to stand. And if you think about it from this, it makes a lot of sense, right? It makes a lot of sense to the world design philosophy and story writing philosophy that we talked about. It needs to be rooted in actual experience and stuff. And then in terms of making it like fictional, making it more sort of detached from reality, which is a big theme as well, right? Like to create something new. We have Ria, we have the world design. These are 2 more components that are very important. Of course, let's not forget other characters too. Right, and then finally, there needs to be enough skill so that when you execute upon it, the art itself has enough detail and have enough technical strength to carry the idea, to convey the idea, and also to pull the viewer in. And then of course, there will be possibly other adjacent stuff, like music, supplemented, cannot type, supplemented with music or something, It could be music, animation, it could be live 2D, it could be web interactive, or something, right? But the 4 main components are here. And if you look at these 4 main components and you think about the problems that we used to have now, all of a sudden it also makes a lot of sense, because first problem is being very passive. If I draw from actual experiences, there is no being passive at all, because every single piece of art would stem from a very specific piece of memory and a very specific emotion that I have went through. So there is no need to be passive. I just look back in the past for whatever that I remember. I don't remember much. That is going to be a problem. But at the very least, it's very grounded, right? We wouldn't necessarily, for example, over here, no matter how frustrated we get, we understand where we're coming from. It is very objective. It is very structured. It is very constant, because it is based on something that actually happened and is something we can actively put down on paper in a very concrete way. Now, adding Ria, adding other people, adding other characters, as well as modifying the world, this part would take maybe a little bit of work. Ria specifically, probably not too much, because her themes, I think, have always been pretty clear in my head. I just didn't really know her personality, but I know her theme. Her theme as a character is very straightforward. If, say, Hello Uni, everyone's the main character of their own story. If I were the main character of my own story, which I get, I am, but like Ria would serve as a very sort of supportive role. She is the kind of character that would always be there to kind of reaffirm what is it that you're doing, regardless if what you're doing is a good thing or a bad thing. She doesn't really care. The main theme of Ria is just that she is supportive, and she doesn't know better whether if it's a good thing or a bad thing, or maybe certain things should be stopped, but she'll just join every single nonsense that you do, every single hijinks that you go through, whether if it's getting into trouble or not, right? That's the character's theme. And so, and this is more C1 stuff, by the way, if you're keeping track of all the chapters and stuff, right? The C1, which is the original Ria, the C2, the one where she kind of lost everything, and it's like a full reset, and then the C3. So We could decide on either C1, C3 because that's where Ria has her personality, has herself intact. It doesn't matter which one it is necessarily. It kind of does actually. It kind of does because story-wise, we just have to think a little bit more about it. That part's not difficult. The slightly more difficult part might be the world design. But then on this front, I think maybe if I just kind of, there is still a direction that I want, right? Like it's more rooted in modern world rather than being super sci-fi. But we still want to detach a bit, like introduce some more certain kind of design elements. This one I'm not sure. I think this one probably we need some more objective sort of design studies. Yeah, so we can actually have something that's different from real world. But then once 1, 2, 3 pieces are intact and consolidate and like sort of concretely put down on paper, 4 is just execution. 4 is just whatever that we have been doing. We find like a color reference, we find like a rendering reference. But notice the difference now is that like before, our problem is my problem is I never really know what colors are good or what rendering quality is good because my ideas are not concrete. I feel like your art style needs to supplement whatever it is that you're communicating. A part of art style is the personality, but then with different art styles, there's different levels of rendering, detailed quality, and so on and so forth, and that brings forth a different idea as well. So I feel like that's probably something that's very suited. There's like a different style that is suited for different ideas, and if we can have the ideas like step 1, 2, 3 concretely put on paper, step 4 becomes a lot easier because I am no longer lost. I have a guiding sort of light to follow in choosing colors, in choosing render quality. And then after that, it's just doing what I have been doing for like the past 6 years, which is I just take that and then I just execute. Try to get as close as to it as possible without necessarily worrying about if this is my style or not. Because at that point, it might not matter as much, right? Because number one, my personal preference always comes through anyways. And then number two, it is meant to deliver the idea in the story. Whatever that it is that I choose to do, it will be because I felt like it was suitable. So the need to stay consistent style-wise just disappears for me. There's no need for me to care anymore. Because again, I'm doing this for myself. It's not necessarily for brand identity. So if I can just get the idea out, I am satisfied. I don't have to get a huge following on Twitter with consistent stuff. So I feel like after this talk, again, with my own parents, of course, it's kind of like an interesting breakthrough in the sort of methodology, I think, going forwards. And this also kind of encompasses what Pio Tegu sort of does, right? She was very focused on silhouettes because that was the focal of the illustration. But she chose that to be and chose to focus on it. I just didn't want to choose, like, I just couldn't have enough conviction behind something random. But if this is the case, then if we work like this, then whatever that we choose to present, I should have enough conviction behind it, right? Or we will never even get to step 4 in the first place. So I think it's very interesting. As for how I want to do this, I think that's a much bigger problem. Like it would be the next step, right? Essentially, because I'm kind of sold on this as being the next step. That this is kind of how I can move forwards as an artist. That we're no longer just grinding color studies. We're no longer grinding rendering. Not that we don't need it, right? But it's just very unguided. The problem here is that I believe step 1 is the main issue. Like I need real experiences. I need real things that has happened where Ria has had a hand in basically influencing it. Of course, vicariously through me, right? Like, but like from my point of view, like I wouldn't have done certain things without her support. So that's the kind of stuff I need. The main issue is I don't remember a lot of these things because these things tends to be things that I don't want to be aware of. I don't want to be in the moment for. So with my coping mechanism that I explained some other time before, I don't know if it's included here in this consolidated list, but it's I don't remember much. So I would have to logically and go through maybe other photographs and whatnot in order to look for stuff like it. And that is obviously I can't do that on stream. Partly because personal info, blah blah blah. Secondly, because being on stream is not private enough. I'm not isolated enough for me to do reflections clearly enough, especially not in the beginning, because I need to know the beginning direction setting needs to be very clear. The first few pieces needs to be very controlled and very personal in order for it to really prove the concept of this workflow. So yeah, it's actually included here. I just didn't write the details, but in any case, so what I'm trying to say here is that you guys are probably not gonna see this done. We're not probably, actually even I probably won't get to see this done for a while, because I pretty much only have time on the weekends to do something like this. Otherwise, coming off of work with streams involved, there likely wouldn't be enough time for me to get in the correct state of mind and start the reminiscing process. So in the meantime, I just want to report on this, because this is pretty much a breakthrough in terms of what we were getting stuck on and what the issues that we've described previously. And it's like a kind of like a direct response to it, and it kind of works. Theoretically, it seems to work. So I think it's the next step forwards. But at the same time, I don't have anything I can do about it just yet. But I just want to let you guys know that this is kind of what's happening in my head, and to document this, right? This idea. But if it is great or not remains to be seen, of course. And as for what we are going to do, I don't know. Honestly, I think being like a very structured in terms of I keep opening this tab. I hate it. Where's my Chrome? What's the word? Like being very structured in like what we do. Like, oh, color study is just a color study. Rendering is just a rendering thing. It's great and all. But I mean, looking at Pio Tegger, like she doesn't do studies, and it's not like because she doesn't do studies, we don't need to do studies, or we shouldn't do studies. It's more of like she focuses a lot on just enjoying the process and drawing something she wants to draw and wants to see happen. And I feel like I've kind of like lost that already, because everything has always very logically thought out about like, hey, I gotta do this because of ABCD, and maybe I should just draw something that I kind of liked when I saw it, And I was on Twitter today, and it's kind of interesting, right? Because guys, like you guys know how I'm trying to use my stupid tools to to find out what kind of stuff I like, right? Like the type of colors, the type of rendering, and so on and so forth. But because on Twitter, I've kind of also been bookmarking those things more and more. Twitter itself is recommending me more stuff that I like. So yeah, I mean, like, I guess that makes sense. That is kind of the whole algorithm. Should have probably realized that a little bit sooner, that I can just be a bit more aggressive. With, say, for example, I can start disliking stuff that is really good art objectively, but maybe I just don't like it 100%. So Twitter can do my job for me. But in any case, so that's kind of happening now. What you guys are seeing is that I'm just kind of consolidating. I'm just kind of pulling out some of the stuff I bookmarked just today, right? For various reasons, right? It could be rendering, it could be colors. I think you can probably tell which ones are for colors, because they tend to have a very distinct sort of personality in those colors. Let me see. I'm just gonna pull as much as I can here. And of course, if you guys are interested in the artist, please let me know. I'm just skipping over some of the sources here because it's gonna take a while to grab everybody's name and put them side by side. So just send a message if you'd like to know more. If not, I'm just gonna go ahead and push things in here. So primarily, I think like for the stuff that I tagged on my own page, on my own tool as well, they're split into 3 different types of things that I like. There's colors, there's rendering, which makes a lot of sense, and then there's proportion. And proportion is mostly a stylization on either the character's face or the character's head and shoulder width. Very specifically that, because that kind of sets the tone for the rest of the entire body. Right, because if you don't have the right ratio for your head and shoulders, you can't really say, for example, make the character super tall or super long, because it will start looking really weird. So really, it's just a proportion on the entire body, but specifically, looking at that head and body, head and shoulder ratio, and seeing how I feel about it. But regardless, these are just some stuff that I bookmarked just today. I barely really worked today. In the morning, it's like I went in at like 9 or something into work. I kind of looked at my phone for like an hour. I worked for 30 minutes. I looked at my phone for another 30 minutes, and then I kind of like walked around in circles for another hour or something. And then it was like lunchtime. I was like, oh, okay, I'm out. But anyways, so what I was thinking of doing today is I'm just gonna draw Rossi, and I want to maybe leverage some of these colors, especially maybe like this one. This is I kind of really like the vibes that some of these gives off. Like that sort of faded look, and also that sort of very group sort of hue. I guess a hue grouping might be the right word. Hue grouping, value grouping, like brightness grouping, as you suggested, Uni, as well as like saturation grouping. I think maybe like grouping is kind of like just what I like in general. Because a lot of these pieces being so faded, I mean, basically you're just lowering contrast, right? Which is what grouping is doing. So maybe that's it. But regardless, anyways. You guys can't see this, right? My stuff is kind of messed up. Anyways, on PioTegu side, I still have some stuff that I haven't compiled finished yet. Like for example, like the timestamps as well as the layering structure. Sorry, yeah, the layering structure. And some other pieces of information, I think. So I will have to get on that, but most likely on this weekend. It is Good Friday this weekend. Sorry, this Friday. Blah. Surprise. I'm about to turn it into a great Friday if I can just get like all the PioTegu stuff done. That would be great. But otherwise, anyways, these ones are here are for proportion. They are quite varied, as you can tell. Yeah, I imagine like even with my new structure here with this 1, 2, 3, 4, I think step 4 I'm still gonna be like a little bit messed up on stuff like proportion, because my facial proportions that I draw is very, very unstable, and I hope that one day it would solidify, stabilize. But definitely the problem lies at 1, 2, 3 at this point. I almost turned my tablet off out of muscle memory, but anyways, I gotta be careful here. I have this this file here. This file is not safe for work. Oops. So I'm not gonna carry on this piece. It's got this vibe and whatnot. I'm just gonna leave it. This is like junk. I don't really know what I'm gonna do specifically. Actually, part of the exercise, by the way, for this is I'm kind of lowering a lot of the. I think I briefly mentioned this when I was prepping for the PioTegu and not interview, the one-on-one. I was saying how like certain things are loaded into my brain, and they stay there until the what I call the sequence clears, right? Until that sort of activity in that to-do task completely clears and gets ticked off as done. It stays there and it stays bugging me because that's what it's designed to be. So it kind of interferes with some of these processes, especially if I want to sit down and start ideating like this. So I'm currently, in my mind, everything has been dropped. Everything that was pending has been dropped. So I'm not going to care about my portfolio website. I'm not going to care about the tools website, the art mapping thing. I'm not going to care too much about the piece, all the animations that we have left undone. I'm not going to care too much about the fade piece that we have left undone. This is not to say that I will never go back to it. But it's just like mentally I'm writing it off so that it's a lighter load on my end for now. Eventually, I am pretty sure we still go back to that one fade piece because that is still the leading piece in terms of a very specific path that we wanted to explore, which is like a way of presenting ideas and telling stories. So like that's like a tech exploration kind of thing, which we'll eventually definitely get back to. It's just that in the meantime, I'm just gonna kill it. Actually, it's kind of interesting. I see kind of like a similarity in some of these Rhea pieces I've drawn. I'm not sure why Faye is so unstable. Maybe Rhea's on proportions are kind of tied down without me knowing. I wonder if I'm pretty sure like from you guys' perspective it just looks really ridiculous because you guys might just see it as like, hey, like this, yeah, like you have always had a very distinct style in the first place. But because I never really get to see it clearly myself, it's a bit of a problem. I'm still trying to discover it. It kind of is like a little bit of a Sherman irony. Oh, oh right, there's also I forgot to pull in the stupid plastic bag lady. Oh, by the way, I'm gonna pull for Rossi tomorrow. Is that tomorrow? Yeah, tomorrow. Because today is the third day. Sorry, today is the third day. No, tomorrow is the third day of login bonus thing, which I will get the free the 4th and 5th tickets, right? So I am going to do a pull for Rossi for tomorrow. I probably have to spend dollar bills for sure because I don't have anything left. I am quite tempted to try and P5 her because she is the equivalent for Rhea in Arknights, right? She's pretty much as close as I will ever get there. So I'm very tempted, but it's so weird. Like I looked at all these like YouTube shorts about pooling and so on and so forth, and everyone is just so casual about like P5ing characters, but like the expected cost is like 1.1 thousand US dollars, and worst case cost is like 1.8. So like what? Everyone is so casual about it. I can't believe how casual everyone was talking about like just like, hey, you're gonna P5 this. Like, yeah, okay. I thought it was like a couple $100 tops, if that like based on the way that people were saying it. But anyways, today was the third day. Today you have to log in. Like time wise, April 4th is the third day. It would appear on like so it's not quite April 4th. So in like what, like 4 hours that reset, I'm gonna get my login bonus. Maybe I was one day late or something. I'm not sure, but I just know I have to wait for one more reset before I can get my my 4th and 5th tickets. And now of course we're gonna have to spend a buttload of money for that. Sorry, what am I looking for? Oh no, I'm looking at the wrong page. God damn it. Also, by the way, I know it's not really like I don't really do dailies, but like look at this. Like this is great. This is the artist for Rhinelab's characters from Arknights, right? Nori. And he or she did a Rossi piece. That's pretty cool. Look at that. Very cool. The interesting thing about this piece is not actually about this piece. It's actually about how I found it. Someone else posted this piece before the main artist got to post it because the main artist is mostly active on Weibo. So the guy just freaking took first blood on this piece. It's kind of interesting. And then the artists themselves posted it about like an hour and a half ago or something. So there is that. Also, Ross's official art is really pog. Rossi's official, like Arknight's Anfield art is kind of insane. Like the more I do art, right? Like the more I do this, the more I start to hate like rendering, and the more I start to realize how much you have to pay in terms of time and effort, blood, sweat, and tears as an artist for you to render something well. And they are pooping out really insane pieces. Like holy shit! Like, do the artists? I hope the artists are paid really well. Like I swear to God. They better pay them really well, man. Like, holy shit. Like, even in terms of, like, professional artists and so on and so forth, these are still, like, insanely detailed pieces with so much attention to detail. And, like, this, the power creep or something? Like, in art, it's kind of real. Like, this is kind of insane. I need to look for a higher resolution of her art or something, but, eventually, I suppose. Let me just grab this here. I don't know what I want, by the way. But we haven't really done a sketch in a while. I feel like maybe I'll just do some sketches. I would love to be able to practice some colors like this. Actually, there was one specific piece. Ah, shit. I should have recorded. Sorry, I spent the last 30 minutes renting. I'm about to spend a little bit more renting still because I'm gonna need to go look for my stuff. npm run art map death. Alright, let me set up my server here. Yes, thank you, Uni. Oh, perfect. I have the right tab for this. So, yes, I already see a blue-green kind of sort of hue. Which one is my server? I keep going there, but I don't know why it's never saved into my my suggestions and autocomplete. Anyways. Wait, do I know this artist? Have I seen their stuff before? I feel like I've seen their stuff before. But like the styles do tend to be quite actually, you know what? Let me use the other thing. I cannot see chat like this. I need to bring it over here. I feel like I've seen this person's art before. I quite like it. I don't know why I never followed them. Marcus. Yeah, I guess I just don't use Navigator nearly enough, right? Because these things don't make a lot of sense at all if you zoom in. But if you zoom out and the Navigator, you can capture the vibe. You can get a feel for the vibes. And then just put some brushstrokes there to imply the form. And then you'll be done. I like how the hair here kind of merges together. Where is it? Right here. I always like how these things kind of merge together. This shape here is also very interesting. The tendency always tends to be like to draw like those spiky ones, but this is like a nice clean cut, which I think Mew Mew's vibes tend to be very very clean and methodical. It feels like I don't know why. I don't really know her as a character too well, but it seems oddly fitting. Also, I'm very biased. This is basically the same kind of hue grouping, value grouping, and saturation grouping that I have a lot of and bookmarked a lot of. But just because it's green, I don't like it. I just really do not like green. Oh wait, this is why. Because I think I probably have this set in my game. I'm not sure. Did I set this? But I definitely have seen it because of this then. Yeah. That makes a lot of sense. Okay, this makes a lot of sense. This is why I know them then. But I guess I never got a chance to Right, now I look at the name and now it looks kind of familiar. But this reminds me of a very specific background study. Wait a second, it's the same artist. Oh, never mind. Never mind. It's because of the style, I think. It's holy shit, the original is also... Oh my god. Okay, that explains it. There's some quality about the colors that they use, I think, that is very... would I say unique? I feel like maybe I've seen other artists do it before, but like it just it definitely stands out against the rest. I don't know what exactly though, why exactly that is the case. But yeah, these kind of groupings, pretty cool. Yeah, I'm starting to notice more and more that really like your rendering just only needs to imply like not even that much, right? Like even clothing pose, you just imply a little bit about the direction, but then you kind of just let go. And then yeah, as long as you keep the edges really clean and sharp, the quality feels really high. Like it feels really finished because these like clean and hard edges exist. But within like those shapes, you can still be pretty rough and still be very although in this case it is pretty tight though, I think. This is not necessarily that rough anymore, I would say, but relatively speaking, it is much more incomplete compared to the edges and stuff. But yes, thank you, Uni. I think that's interesting. You know, I was going to say, by the way, like I thought they were the yet another artist. Actually, I just need to check. Oh, never mind. It's the same person. Okay, I remember these. Like I believe, I think it was this artist or something that did a lot of studies, a lot of background studies, like an insane amount of background study. As you can see here, there's still a lot more here. But like in the past, I remember finding them for some photos. Maybe it is a different artist. Actually, I'm still not sure actually at this point if it is the same person or not. I might be able to find it here, but I seriously doubt it because this is a. Sorry, why do I have another one? Oh, right, because this was this. I'm not gonna go look for it right now because I don't think I'll find it. It's very hard to find stuff in this thing here, as you might imagine. Oh, I did make one upgrade to this system here, to the script here, is I added a background blankness. So it's like a set of math and logic that tries to account for backgrounds that are blank. So not just white, but just blank. Sometimes it's blank because it's just like a flat, simple color, right? But sometimes that flat, simple color actually helps as well. So like in this case here, you can say like this is a blank background, but it also kind of helps to set the mood. So it becomes like a little bit of a half and half thing. But either way, I did make this one an adjustment here, which is not really that important. Wait, you know what? I need to set my favorites tag. I might have, I think I favorited something that I wanted to use, but I don't know what it was. No, it's not here. I think I might not have favorited it. Over time, I'm hoping that this would be... Oh, this is all I have favorited. That is safe for work, Lamau. Oh man. Anyways, but yes, thank you, Uni. Sorry, I always hello Silver. Oh my god, it's been a while since I've seen your messages. Yeah, indeed. Everything in due time, I think. I think currently, despite us being kind of stuck in like a pretty tricky way, right? Because direction and stuff is not really easily solved. But despite all that, I feel like yes, no, Silver. I never doubted you. I believe you are always watching, but it has been a while since you have chatted. Oh, only this? No, sorry, I take out that. Alright, oh yeah, no, my proportion setup is over here. I would like to... I mean, I shouldn't really come here and look for this. Actually, I know who the artist is. I might as well just go for them directly. Maika. I just want to go back to some of the styles that I did enjoy in the past. Anyways, and then we put Roxy on it, of course. I keep saying Roxy because Roxy is not like a very the sounds don't exist in my head. Alright, Faye needs to get out of here. That's very distracting. Get kicked. They got kicked. Okay, let me just start out with some warm-ups here. By the time I'm finished warming up, I'm pretty sure I'll be done by then. But yeah, let's just start. Shit. What does the future hold? Oh, the nose is too long. Oh, you know what I should figure out? I should figure out the tool rotation right now. I think yeah, Pyotegу honestly is like such a perfect candidate for the one-on-one because there are so many good similarities and so many good dissimilarities. And one of the really good similarities is just absolutely like the focus on efficiency. The way they work is not necessarily like a just a natural way of doing things. It's a very tailor-made process that is meant to be efficient. What's the vibe that I got? So 2 rotation setup. Let me try and figure out now. So that we can already try to work it into my workflow here. But the problem is that rotate tool is also a tool. Tool rotation is a very specific thing. And I'm having difficulties Googling for it. And the one thing that comes up appears to be out of date. The one chat thing. I'm gonna do a piece that follows the process. I'm not. I think eventually I will end up doing it, just because of the fact that it was a very tailor-made stuff for efficiency, and I would like to give it a try. But currently, I don't want to force anything at all. Like, not process, not colors, not render. At least for colors and render, we might give it a try. But like process, changing process might be a little bit too maybe a little bit too much, I think. It says files Clip Studio Mate though. Oh, it's over here too, rotation. So I guess you kind of need to pay money for this. Because Clip Studio Mate is that thing, that controller thing that you can use. So I guess we can't use this. This is literally paywalled. There's a message over here. Oh shit, actually actually that's not a bad idea. I just realized what you've suggested is actually the where is it? Here, right? I was talking about making videos, I think. I would like to write the script out at least for like some video ideas. So the first one will be the critique, right? There will be 3 videos, I guess. Or maybe like just 2 videos, right? And then a live drawing, right? So I think it would be really cool that it is a I can go over her process, like if I'm allowed to use a recording that I have at least visually only. Then I can showcase her layering structure, her time lapse, and then quickly the layout itself. And then I would do I can do like a sort of a copy, follow her process sort of drawing. And then in the meantime, go over some of these sort of more interview type questions. I think that will make like a good video. So a critique and then another one for this. This will take a lot of planning and thinking about. So it's definitely not anywhere near getting started yet. Especially at this stage in time, getting overwhelmed seems to be a bit of the main problem. Like just biting off more than I can chew. So I probably wouldn't be doing that just yet, but that's a great idea, I think. Thank you. Pretty good stuff. Because I was worried about, like, I don't know what else to put in the, the background, you know? If I'm not allowed to use the recording. Or just anything at all. Like, there wouldn't be anything to show, per se. So, I was like, ah, shit. What do I do? And I completely forgot that I can just draw something. What? I can just draw something and record it. Broski. Honestly, up to now, I still don't really consider myself as an artist in my brain. Because all I can do is just put certain things out. I can do some studies and so on and so forth. But like, nothing's really delivering like a very convicted idea, you know? Like, nothing is really something that I truly want to let people know about. And as a result, it's nothing feels like a piece of art, per se. They just feel very technical practices and so on and so forth. Okay, getting really long here. Oops. I'm just trying to loosen up. I'm not gonna go in and clean anything up or anything. Not really gonna care. Yeah, I suppose. Oh, interesting, interesting way of phrasing it. I feel like there's a lot of emotion behind that sentence, almost. I just, I guess I don't really see a lot of value in labeling myself as an artist or not. Things don't really change too much. I still cannot, I still cannot deliver the ideas. I still don't have any ideas clear enough to deliver in the first place. So, but yes, I do recognize that we can at least draw for what it's worth, for whatever this is, to what, like what, to the extent of whatever this is, and I have to recognize that. I always kind of like this character, by the way, in pink. I don't know if that's even pink, actually. That's some kind of light red. It's kind of orange, actually. Never mind. Because of how empty her face always looks. Like this character, because of the way the eyes are always portrayed like this, makes it feel like there's nothing. There's not a single thought in her head. Like always, it's just completely empty all the time. Is what it feels like, and I really like it. And I think it took me a really long time to figure out why that feels like the case is because of the eyes. Just always looking like half asleep or something. She always looks so empty, her eyes. Not her head, not her eyes. Like even if she's smiling or anything, like it's always empty. Not a single thought. Also, everyone says she wears like a plastic bag on her person. Because it looks like a plastic bag here. I never really watched her though. I think it's been a while since I watched VTubers. Need some space here. I want to make too big here. Oh, what? Oh, I selected the wrong thing. I also found like a secret office supply stash of paper, which is not really that secret. It's just meant for you to take, but it's very hidden away from where I'm sitting, from my section of the office. It used to be right there, like where everyone can see, and then they moved it literally one floor up. Like holy shit, I have to go upstairs to get office supplies. And not that I really need it, mind you. I don't need office supplies, but because I found it. And I found like they have like this folder looking thing where in the middle there are like these oh man, I don't know how to draw them. Shit, this is the artist skill being tested right now. But there are these sort of metal prongs here. And then there is this. So this here, by the way, this part here is the bottom, like on this side here. So it's like the bottom of this thing. This is like the crease of this middle part. And then across this crease on top of it, there is like a sort of a metal ring around this thing, but it's connected to a piece of paper here. So the idea is that you can put pieces of paper in here with the holes punched, right? So you can slot it underneath this piece of paper here. You can slot it in. So you will lift this up, right? You will put the paper's holes over this part, so it locks the papers in. And you put this back on, and then you fold this metallic part down, and it will hold the paper down. I found this folder, and I thought it was really cool. And on the same drawer and the same shelf, there was like a hole puncher. And I saw a bunch of printing paper. I'm like, oh man, I can make myself a sketchbook. I made myself a sketchbook in the office. I used to always draw on the post-it notes, and I will paste it up. But now I can hide all my sketches away. So my boss doesn't know that I'm always slacking off at work. But anyways, good shit. It's kind of nice to get some traditional in. Most of them are studies though, but it gives you a little bit more confidence in your strokes. Because erasing is kind of a pain, yeah, so I just stopped erasing altogether. That's good stuff, good stuff. I missed the mark here somewhere, but I also don't really care too much, honestly. Trying to keep things a bit more lighthearted for now. Until the new operation, the new sort of workflow is really stabilized. I don't think I want to go and push myself too much in certain aspects. That's just yeah, I was thinking about this yesterday, right? Like, why don't I just kind of just stop thinking about like all the technical stuff for a bit and just go back to what it was like 5-6 years ago when I first decided to that I want to draw like a little bit more seriously. Back then, it wasn't really I wasn't necessarily thinking about like technical stuff that like, well, not I was kind of, but like I wasn't thinking of it like the way we are today. It was more of just like, hey, this looks really cool. I would like to draw something like this. And then I would just go for it, alright? I would give it a try. And most of the time I would fail, of course. In that regard, I would probably do a lot better nowadays. But the way that I found things to do wasn't necessarily too structured or logical. It was just more emotion-based. And maybe that's kind of what I need right now. Oh, I actually just remember all of a sudden that the artists that I like that we did a study first off like over here, they change their brush sizes pretty often for a lot of sketches. Actually, there's a period of time where the sketches were really good because they keep swapping out brush sizes throughout the entire sketch. This one is a lot more contained, a lot more controlled. Let me see if I can find them. I mean, I don't have to try to find them. I know exactly where to find them, but it is where we created that one brush, right, in the past, that one heart brush. Dang, it's been so long though. They have so many more sketches now. Just gonna send this, I guess. Oh, sorry, Uni. I actually completely forgot. Like your dailies, I kind of violated the standard operating procedure here. I forgot about this. Wow. Our resources to base dailies. There we go. Ah, shit, misclick. Stop. In my attempt to unload all of the stuff off my head, I unloaded all of the automated sequences as well. Apparently, I didn't even realize that I didn't even get a feeling that something was missing at all. It was just like, hey, oh, cool, thanks, and then it was it. Dang, dude. Like, but it's good to know that the unloading sequence is working accordingly. Some of these mental gymnastics setups and stuff, they have been with me for a really long time. It's part of like the whole coping mechanism thing, and I've been using them throughout in my entire life, and it kind of works at like sort of organizing some stuff in my brain. Anyways, I digress. This is the one that I really like because of how rough it is and because of the ever-changing brush sizes, and like even if you squint your eyes, there's like emphasis here and there and so on and so forth, and it just looks so fun and free, but at the same time so expressive, rather than being tied down by the lines. I wonder if there's a way to sort of render this with color and stuff while keeping the lines like this. I feel like it would be too noisy. I guess we have to just kind of decide like who is responsible for defining forms and shadows and stuff, right? Because both color and the line art kind of do a little bit of the form definition as well as the color like the value definition, which I guess is the form from the values. And yeah, I should probably choose one. Anyways, I'm going to where's the Roxy corner? I thought I made a Roxy. Oh, sorry. So I keep saying Roxy. Oh my god, I'm gonna get bashed. What do I want? No target. I'm just gonna ignore targeting. So just fly, right? Okay, I'm just gonna put two side by side, and then we're just gonna fly here. Make it a smaller brush. It's not even the same perspective already, by the way. Right off the bat, it's already different. Okay, yeah, the control is always giving me this issue every time. But certain things are non-negotiable, though. I feel like the angle of the frame of the eyes, those are a little bit too critical to just kind of wishy-washy do randomly here. I feel like I'm not even following my guides, but that's okay. I don't care. I don't know what this is, but it kind of adds some random details. I'm not gonna care. I'm gonna do it. So just to check, which way is it? Right, I forgot. Yeah, it's 1, 2. That's smoother things. Rounder eyes too? Oh, okay. I can adjust for that. Actually, no, that is more style dependent. I think that's also push. Then a push. Yeah, longer is better for me. I still like longer. Minor difference. Okay. And then we pull from the thing. What is this? Oh, it's a sequence. Oh, too much. Alignment is not turned on. That's fine. always the same problems, huh? Pseudo perspective. Yeah, we do over. Interesting. Let's see. Looks like I'm in Quebec. What? Why is Pinterest think I'm in Quebec? Looks like you're in Quebec. I'm not in Quebec, dude. Quebecois? No? Oh, it's gone now. Weird. Oh, anyways, let me swap this out. Yes, but that's the other separate sequence. I'm gonna deal with that some other time, I think. How dare they? Oui. It's kind of check. Yeah, so oh. Yeah. Oh, it's kind of similar. I use this as reference here. One, two, three. I did not. I wasn't really sure what the whole Mewtwo collab with Pokemon is. I just remember they had some designs, like a Ghost Mewtwo or something, Ghost type Mewtwo. This one? No, not this one. God damn it. Not the mushroom game. This guy. This guy. Yeah, it's just today. Yeah. I don't really get it. What is the Oh. But even if this was real, like what was the collab even for? Yeah, see you later. See you soon. Silver. Mom. See, are they like playable characters? Do they do it? It's just like I guess it's just a song collab, I guess, right? I was just kind of not really sure where they're like what was the point of it, but I guess it's just the songs and getting more just more what's the word? Traffic. Staying relevant. The executives be like. Interesting. I was never really like a big Pokemon kind of person. I never really played the games. I think the first game I ever played was like Pokemon Crystal on my phone or something. Like an emulator on the phone. It was like one of those really old phones. I think it was like a Sonic Ericsson. Don't know what's it called. If I am saying it correctly. It looks something like this, and it's like a push kind of phone. So it's got like a... Is it this phone? Can this phone even run shit like that? I can't remember. I vaguely remember it was like a phone like this though. And then you can... There's like a circular pad somewhere, and then you can slide this up. And then it will look like this. It'll look like this with the number pad here. I see. So it is a thing, right? But man, it's so long ago. That was early. That's like 2009, 2008, 2009, I would say. Test. Okay, that's fine. Couldn't find my volume slider on the OBS. I thought I was muted the whole time, but we were clearly having a conversation. But legal in the App Store. Delta is the best one. I see. I haven't been to that side of the gamer world in a long time. How does this work with her skirt? Actually, this isn't. Oh, but it's softer than I expected. I believe my childhood was like literally all Maple Story. I think it pretty much is just all Maple Story for me. And some shooters. Enemy Territory Wolfenstein, which eventually went on to make a lot of sequels, which I was not aware of until quite late, but I played all of those as well. You get to go to Venus or something and kill Mr. H himself. It's like a really interesting setup, because where the Nazis won World War II and so on and so forth. Hey, sorry, not related. Mace is like here, like a corset. Ooh. Nakatsugakunai? What? I think the design's kind of different. Between the art and the model, I feel like. It is disappearing into the neck. Neck is here. Huh. This is kind of not very cool. The body maybe. Cam's doing weird stuff again. Oh, it's USD. Oh my god. I just got an email saying I paid my servers for the website. Come on, I'm bleeding money out the ass right now. I need to start canceling some stuff. Yeah, I think it's oh, it's still in yes. Okay, can I do this? coronavirus. Yeah, I'm currently in the process of just unloading everything that is in progress. Everything gets unloaded. We're gonna start fresh. A little bit, kind of. It's been a slight breakthrough in the approach, perhaps, but I have to make it work first. This is not it, by the way. That's not what I'm referring to. Hello, Dubay. Spot. Yeah, I think I kind of want to... Oh, yes. Have a good night, Uni. Thanks for coming. So, right, I'm just going to briefly repeat the stuff that I mentioned at the beginning of the stream, so everyone's caught up to speed. Currently, sorry, Duve, I'll get to that in a bit. So currently, I am in the process of resetting, because I feel like a lot of the stuff that I got myself into, the websites and the other things that all these journeys of practicing color and render, they're all good and stuff, but it's gotten really overloaded and overcrowded, and I think at this stage in time I would like to just reset everything. Almost like we are restarting the stream from scratch, right? Because when we started we had nothing. But in any case, there are still a couple things that I would like to do. Number one is I would like to at least come up with the script for the POTG 101, POTG 101. We have like a rough 10-minute video for like the critique. I'm gonna make a 10-minute-ish script, and then I'm gonna make a maybe like 10 to 20-minute-ish script for the live drawing one, because I'll show quickly the time lapse, I'll show quickly the layering, and then I will try to do the same layering and setup and so on and so forth. And then turn all of these into a script, I think. So, yes, ChatGPT is right. ChatGPT is still right. ChatGPT will continue to be right with regards to that. I'm gonna drop all existing stuff, right? So, like all the portfolio website, I'm gonna stop developing. The tools, I'm gonna stop developing for now. Well, I mean, I'm not really developing, right? I'm just coming off ideas and throwing it at the clanker. But like at this point, we've really kind of run out of stuff to add. I've added a few more things here and there because as I'm using it, I realized that I could be improved on. But anyways, I want to come up with the scripts. I'm not necessarily going to make the video. I just want to come up with the scripts while I still have like the session fresh in my memory. That's one thing I want to do. The second thing is with regards to the stuff that we learned, right? Specifically, I was talking about sorry, what is this? No, it's not related. Specifically, I was saying how my current process has four problems. Number one, I'm too passive for the inspiration. Number two, I'm too emotionally invested in everything that I want to draw because, it's an inspiration, right? So that makes things really hard to do. And then number three, when I have a skill issue and I cannot push through and draw what I want to draw, it's frustrating and it removes the vibes that I had before, right? And it makes it so that I don't have a vision anymore. I cannot draw anymore because there's nothing to align to anymore. And also there's patience where I'm just constantly sort of revamping plans instead of committing to a specific plan constantly. But today I was talking with my parents, and then there was this discovery. There's this chain of sort of conversation about what is it that I want to do. And from there, I kind of realized that we can approach it from a different way. I'm not going to go through the whole nonsense about how I arrived at this conclusion. You guys can watch it in the beginning of the stream. The first 30 minutes was talking nonsense. But essentially, what I should be doing here is I should, as I was saying, how like the characters and everything was designed based on my own personal experience. I should find those experiences and memories first, take that, and then put Ria in, change the environment to be the world that I want to design, and then I will use whatever art skills that I have to execute on this idea and make it so that it's a completed piece, like the completed piece of work. When I look at it, I can feel myself being transported to a different world, right? Because what I wanted to draw was to transport myself to a different world, but that's not enough, right? The example I was giving is I can go down to the ocean by the seaside and I can just smell the ocean for like 2 hours. I can come back and draw a scene of like the seaside and the beach, and I can probably smell it every time I look at the art, right? Because of this memory. But the thing is, it doesn't have any meaning. So this here provides the meaning. These two here specifically achieves the goals that I want to achieve, which is to immortalize my characters and create a world for them. And then finally, this right here satisfies the desire to be better at art and also to finally execute upon the idea. And this is really cool because for a couple of reasons. Number one, a lot of these problems are kind of resolved. For example, being passive and waiting for inspiration. I'm not passive anymore if I just go ahead and pen down all of these ideas and memories, right? I'm not passive anymore. And then too emotionally invested, this is still kind of an adjacent problem. I just have to be better at sort of not allowing that to happen. But then when you have a lot of ideas, for example, a lot of memories and a lot of ideas, you become less invested in each one as well, right? And finally, the sort of losing track of the vision is the biggest problem, right? When you can't execute the thing well, you sort of lose vision, and then it becomes impossible to do things. But if it's based on actual experiences, and I already physically like concretely design, like put Ria into the scenario and put the world design into the scenario, I have a very concrete set of instructions on what I want to achieve. So no matter how frustrating this part gets, it will never sort of override that because it's on paper now. It's concrete. So this here actually is really cool because it seems to address everything that we have done before. However, there's still a couple of issues here. Number one, I don't remember too much of these experiences in memory. I have to sit down and really think about it. And number two, this is not possible on stream, right? I have to do this privately. I have to do this in an environment where I can isolate myself and really just transport myself away from the reality at this point in time. So while this is really cool and all, and it looks like a very clear path forwards, I'm not 100% sure how to execute upon it just yet. But I think compared to the version of myself yesterday, I feel a lot more sort of hopeful about the future. Just by virtue of the fact that this seems to be a theoretical solution to everything that we have at this point. So this is currently what's in the works, right? I just want to get rid of, get the scripting done here real quick while I have the ideas. And then I'm going to try to execute on this plan. In the meantime, everything else done on stream will just be, I'm just going to let loose. I'm just going to forget about the practicing. I'm going to forget about trying to be really good at, say, colors or rendering or anything specifically. I'm not going to care about any of those things. I'm just going to go around, kind of like what I did in the beginning when I started art 5-6 years ago, right? I'm just going to look at my Twitter timeline. And these, by the way, all these bottom stuff is all the stuff that I got from my Twitter timeline just today when I was slacking off at work, right? And I'm choosing all of them because like the colors are good, because I like the colors. These are all the colors that I like, right? So on and so forth. Proportions and characters and designs that I like, and so on and so forth. And then finally, there's also sort of rendering. I think I'm not sure if rendering is specifically chosen, but like these two are like kind of like rendering, and so on and so forth. So rather than forget like trying to be so hands-on about everything, I'm gonna just forget about everything. I'm just gonna go back to, you know, kind of like what Pio Tego also mentioned. Like you want to guide your sensibility with logic, but sensibility, your sense, your vibes, and your ideas should come first, right? So the problem was that we might be a little bit too logical and too methodical with our approach, and as a result, it was kind of detrimental, I suppose. I think objectively it's not necessarily a bad thing. We just need to have more patience. I just need more patience to really commit to the plan and just keep drilling and drilling and drilling. But then, and you will get better, right? Objectively, you will get better. But the problem then is still that you're not really tackling the biggest problem, you know, addressing the elephant in the room, which is your idea and your reason for doing, which is the specific vibes and ideas and memories. So, yeah, anyways. So I want to target this root cause that we are facing, this root reason for us getting stuck. And on stream, it's just going to be relaxed. It's just going to remove everything. I'm just going to stop thinking. I'm just going to look at stuff. If it inspires me, hold on to it for as long as I can, pen it down on paper for in whatever way, shape, or form that I can manage. It could be a sketch, it could be a color sketch. It could just like, you know, it might be something, it might be nothing, but I'm just gonna forget about the control for a bit. Go back to 5-6 years ago, where that's kind of how I drew, where I just kind of walk around and being like, hey shit, I want to do this, right? Then I'm gonna do it. Sorry, that's a bit of a long rant, but that catches you up on like that saves you basically the first 30 minutes or 40 minutes of this today's stream, where I was ranting on and trying to work out my ideas. In any case, I'm going to look at Duvay's daily here, and then I'll probably have to hop off for today. Oh, right, sorry. It is purple. The link is purple because I opened it in a different tab, and I forgot about it, and I reopened it now. Not because I've seen this artist before. What the? Oh my god. Windows trying to be too smart. I don't really like that they try to split the screen for you kind of thing. It's kind of annoying, if I'm being honest. Sorry, Duvay, I kind of ignored your message for me. Let me see. Yeah, just get automotive and then say, if you can't remember how to say the prime, then just prime yourself for the new ones. Yes. So the problem with that, Duvay, that sentence, I had the same conversation with my parents, is that the only reason why I want to draw was to capture the stuff that was in the past. I understand that, you know, as a person, you should look forward. But the issue is that without going back into the past, there is literally no meaning in me doing art at all. So that is a hard requirement. It's not to say that I don't draw based on new experiences, but the old experiences are the only reason. But yes, anyways, taking notes of what you're feeling is also helpful. Yeah, I don't do that nearly enough. I don't write journals or anything. In fact, you know, I mentioned this before. I actively try to forget things. I try to dissociate from what's happening in reality. So a lot of things are kind of lost, possibly for good. And maybe that's fine. I mean, that's fine, right? It is what it is. I am gonna work with what I have, and very interesting, Duvay. This reminds me of Jeff the Killer. Dang. I feel like Jeff the Killer is one of those faces that got stuck in my head for so long. Oh wow. Okay, someone interesting came up right at the bat. It just reminds me of this. Oh, partially lost. Never mind. This guy. I remember there was a period of time where this got stuck in my head. Every time I closed my eyes, I would see it. Like in the shower, when you're showering, yeah, it's not really a fun experience. Kind of vaguely reminiscent. By the way, like it got stuck in my head for so long. It was such a big problem, and then eventually I figured out mental gymnastics to kill it. Not to kill the character. I mean to kill this problem. And the trick was to back then I was doing it was not very healthy either, right? I was trying out Talpa forcing. If you don't know what it is, don't bother looking it up. But essentially I was doing a lot of sort of visualization exercises, and one of those exercises involves creating like a room in my head for one of my characters, and I think it was for Ria. But like that room is interesting. I can still kind of vividly remember a lot of the room's layout, but I explicitly dedicated a space on the bookshelf, and on the bookshelf, at the very top shelf, there is a box that I call the ghost box, and all the very horror-y, like gory and all the bad stuff that I am afraid of, I would visualize it in my head, right? This is the scary part. You have to visualize it very clearly in your head, and then visualize yourself putting it into the box, and then locking up the box and putting the box on the top shelf. The day I did that, it just went away. The problem went away immediately. It was kind of insane, actually. But oh yeah, okay, wow. Look at you, man. Like mind palace, yes. All these very interesting words. Talpa forcing, mind palace. What else was there? There was also memory palace. I tried another mental exercise where instead of remembering stuff, you're just training your brain to be more focused. And the exercise was actually, so imagine yourself lying on bed. Let's just start like so you will lie on your bed, right? And you would just, on the bed itself, you will visualize what are you doing right now, what are you feeling right now. So you know you're just lying on the bed, but can you feel the texture of the bed, the feeling of the bed on your arms, on your body, and on your legs? Can you feel everything? Can you feel the exact amount of pressure that you're exerting and it's exerting back by Newton's third law? And now imagine yourself getting up. Can you imagine the feeling, the change in pressure across your entire body and every part of your body? Can you feel that change? And then as you're sitting up, Can you imagine turning to the side of the bed, getting off the bed, walking? Every step, can you feel the pressure on your feet, right? And then you can walk yourself all the way down to the mall or somewhere. And then every step along the way, you're visualizing everything that's happening to you, on your body, what you feel, your five senses, basically. I forgot what this exercise was for exactly, but it was interesting because as I was doing, I did it for like a week or two, and you can feel yourself getting really good at sort of being aware of what's happening. Um, Anyways, that didn't really go anywhere. I didn't really do anything with happy thoughts. That place was that room in my mind was purely for just a room for Taupa, I believe. Actually, maybe it wasn't. No, it wasn't Ria. Actually, it was my other character, the one that died. Anyways, you guys will probably see her soon enough because with this new plan here. So there's two characters, right? There's Ria and there's this other character. Both of them are 15 years old now, actually. I never mentioned the other one because she technically died for various reasons. But yeah, anyways. When I actually do execute this, she will come into play, I imagine, because her and the other and Ria are the main two characters that got me through everything. Faye is a very late addition. Yeah, like the Taupamancing stuff and all those things was related to the other character. Actually, Ria was never really quite the main character for a good part of my life. The other one was, but they were both always like sort of side by side. And by virtue of the fact that Ria made it out the other end and the other one didn't, Ria became the main character, kind of. They're both kind of main characters very much, but we got to that probably within the year, I imagine. Is that a reason I don't remember a lot of stuff? I don't remember a lot of things not because of the mental exercises like these, but because of the coping mechanism that I mentioned before. The triple whammy of deleting the future and then autopiloting through the present as well as deleting the past. There was like a triple whammy setup that constantly ensured that nothing else came through except for stuff that I want to care about. But a lot of these sort of life-changing and personality-defining moments and stuff are these difficult things in life, right? So, and also like all the stuff that Ria got me through and stuff like that. It's gonna be a problem. I'm gonna have to deal with this. And just get it through. Anyway, sorry, long rant. But I mean like it's clear from this quick scan here. Like this artist is more about the theming and more about the specific sort of type of character, I suppose, if it's not the same character. The rendering is very rough. Mostly just line work. But clean lines though. Actually, it's interesting, right? By virtue of the fact that the rendering and everything is empty and not present, the face becomes the absolute sort of focal point. It is the only place on the entire thing where like my eyes are drawn to. That is actually kind of crazy. Like maybe this is all like on purpose to keep everything sort of as clean and as clear as simple and empty as possible, so that the only place that you would get drawn to is this. That's really insane, actually. Like if this was done consciously, that is absolutely top tier artisting. Artist-ing. And also just a random free run here. The Cure. How they draw cake. Is there like a very specific cake piece here? They all seem to be kind of front view and stuff. I guess this is like side cake, half side cake. Up above? Oh, like these ones? Oh. Oh, really? Like the one I was talking, was just like open and talking. Oh, but it's cake here. Yeah, it's good. It's good stuff. It's the good stuff, Mike. But like most of the time, like the artists draw the good stuff though. Most of the time, it's the good stuff. Isn't it all of the time it's the good stuff? There's always good stuff, actually. Actually, it's good for I'm gonna ping one of these, and then I'm going eventually it's gonna get pulled into the system for me. But I think like the contrast setup is interesting, and also serves as a good proportion reference eventually. Oh yeah, good stuff. Thank you, Duvet. Did I send this into the chat yet? I sent it in the chat. Did I send it into the Discord? No, not yet. Anyways, oh, I completely didn't realize. Apparently, we crossed like 200 people in the Discord. How many people are there actually? 144 plus 54 plus 1. Math, please. Is that exactly 200? Is that exactly 200? No, like 199, is it? Oh, maybe it's only 198. Maybe someone left or something, because the announcements told me that I was gonna ping like 200 plus people. I'm like, holy shit, when did we exceed 200 plus? But you have in the chat. Yes, thank you, Duvet. I posted to the wrong place just now or something. But anyways, I'm just, you know, as mentioned before, streams are gonna be haphazard for now. I'm just gonna do sketches. Currently, I want to just draw Rossi, and we're just gonna draw Rossi. I think the plan is not necessarily go too hardcore on the coloring, but I want to try to control the colors a little bit more towards these kind of stuff. I realized today that I think it really is just grouping, like the stuff, the quote-unquote colors that I like, and the idea of moody is just grouping, right? You're grouping either the saturation, the hue, or the values. That's basically what it is, what it comes down to. Like something like this, it's just you're grouping the hues towards the bluer side, and then you're grouping some of the values in the corners so that they are not as high contrast. It's just removing contrast. It really is what it is. So with that in mind, I think I would like to just give it a try with some of these things that I'm trying to set up here. And rendering wise, I don't know just yet. Rendering, I think, is still, I still have a rough idea with it, which is like big solid big blob blah, 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 blah. Big solid block of shapes with like the borders having like some textures on it. So 3 ways to group stuff. Right, yeah, you see, I've never thought about it, about grouping. Honestly, like uni started off me off on the whole idea of brightness grouping, because when she mentioned it, I wasn't really sure what brightness grouping meant. But then slowly I start to notice more and more sort of brightness grouping but done here and there. And then now when I'm looking back at all the colors and stuff, I realize that it's just all grouping then. It is just all grouping. Of course, there's a bit of difference with the balance, overall balance still. Like this one here groups everything except for like the red hair, I feel like. The reddish orangey hair. Hello, show. So it makes it really stand out, whereas this one has a lot of grouping, but there's still a lot of accents everywhere. There's saturated reds and saturated blues, and so on and so forth. So there is still a lot of ways to sort of play around with it. That being said, I also kind of like the high contrast, sort of vibrant, very, not necessarily psychedelic, right, but like just very vibrant colors as well. Those are also really nice. But yeah, anyways, slowly but surely, I think things are becoming a little bit clearer as to where I want to head towards. Execution remains a problem, but if the senses can be aligned, I'm sure we'll get there one day, right? That wouldn't really be too big of a problem, I think. As long as we know where we want to be and we can see the differences. But yeah, that's kind of that. Indeed, I think, yeah, it's gonna be a journey to find all the balance and all that stuff, but that's what the streams are about, I suppose. The main issue now is that there's no real issue here per se. I mean, I'm just gonna let loose on stream, right? Which means that it's gonna be unstructured. But I think as long as we are drawing like this in like a more focused manner, which is basically me on stream, where it's very focused, then I am not too worried. I'm sure that I will find something to work on, like something. And then behind the scenes, I'm gonna try and work on something to do with idea generation, the formula that we were talking about before. Yes, high notes and singing, indeed. Oh man, but yeah, this proportion issue is also kind of hard. Like, there's so many proportions that I kind of like. I still don't have a very clear leaning towards one or another, and as a result, it's kind of hard, I suppose. At the end there, I kind of autopiloted what I was saying. What was I saying? I have no idea what I'm saying. But anyways, I would say, yeah, like I would say, I think relatively speaking, to compared to like a lot of the sort of more, you know, the big ladies kind of art, definitely leaning more towards the lolly side and the cuter side rather than the more sort of just like bigger side, I think. I'm wondering if I can make it so that this is like, okay, sorry, a side tangent, right? This stupid hood thing, because like the ears are like, there's like this cutout thing, this standing part of the fabric for the ears. I'm wondering how solid it is, like how rigid it is, because if like the ears were down, would the fabric just fall down? Yes, big ladies, not like Maxi. I'm not sure about you, Show. I'm not sure what your preferences are. I wasn't paying too much attention in the chats and stuff like that, but correct me if I'm wrong. I believe you are also big ladies. And then of course Duvet is like all the pairings, girl, guy, and then holding hands and pinning each other down. You know, as we see on the dailies, of course. Yeah, the reason why I'm thinking so much about like the hood thing is because I think it'd be really cool, right? Instead of just being lazy, and just putting the hood over the ears like this, what if you can render good enough clothing physics that looks realistic, and it really, you know, it really brings you the it really brings you into the whole sort of realism part, you know, like it makes you feel like it's real, and you can feel it and you can touch it and you can feel the material, how soft it is, and so on and so forth. But anyways, thin legs, is that right? Thin, oh shit, stop doing that. I didn't draw any legs today, I don't think, but oh, I did draw legs today, right? By the way, for this one, I don't know where I'm bringing it just yet, but like she's kind of grumpy in the middle here, right? I don't know why she's kind of grumpy, but I just made her grumpy, and then I realized that, hey, we have a lot of white space around. Wouldn't it be kind of cool if it's like a multi-canvas setup, where you have this sort of story where she is like really, she wants to eat something, I don't know, like apple ice cream or something, apple flavor ice cream, and then something happened here, and then she dropped it, and then now she's all grumpy. That's kind of what's happening, right? And then like colors wise, of course, this part will be the highest contrast and most darker values. Everything else will be pretty faded. And you know, brightness group, saturation group, then lowered, and so on and so forth. I think could be interesting. I just don't really know what exactly is happening, you know, to her. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know either, Joe. For everyone else's sake, I hope it's not me. But it kind of sucks if it is your internet as well. Anyways, but regardless, though, I kind of have to hop off for now. Wait, let me check, actually. This one looks kind of like the one I did for Faye a while back. Yeah, it kind of looks like it. Sorry, I have a strong bias towards certain poses, I realize. If I don't think about it too hard, I'm just gonna autopilot into the same thing. It's literally the same thing. Somehow. Proportions are kind of different. I mean, face eyes, I try to force it to be a specific way every time. I try to. Today's proportions, I was trying to go towards one of my this artist here. I really like how expressive the lines are, quote unquote, like how rough the lines are, quote unquote expressive. But this is the artist that helped us develop this this cooler pen here thing. Did I use this properly again? Yeah, I haven't used this in like months, right? Like a long time now. Oh yeah, by the way, I'm gonna try and pull for Rossi tomorrow. I keep saying Roxy. Other than that, there's nothing else. I'm still contemplating if I want to try to get more copies of her, since she is pretty much a copy of the closest I ever get to Ria in the game. But like you know, it's kind of steep, huh? Like 1,100 average on average, like 1,100 USD on average for P5. But we'll see. I'm just gonna pull at least one copy tomorrow. But otherwise, other than that, I'm gonna hop off for now. And then I'll see you guys. See you guys tomorrow. Spend the rest of today writing the script or something. But anyways, have a good night. Why are you drawing Rossi for Final Summer? Yeah, no reason at all. I'm just drawing because I want to. Yeah, sure. Streams from now on are just kind of very haphazard. I'm just gonna do whatever the hell I want. If halfway through this I feel like I don't want to do it anymore, I'm just gonna stop. I'm just gonna move off to something else. Everything is gonna be very loose and very unstructured for a bit, as I try to reset some of the issues away. But anyways, thanks for coming. I hope the music wasn't too loud. I realized it might be a little bit too loud. But anyways, have a good night, guys. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Goodbye.